Hi guys, and welcome to Cultnomics. My name is Paul Hanley, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about a Solow model production function. Hi guys, in order to understand a Solow growth model, we first need to understand a country's factors of production, of which there are three major types. The first one is land and raw materials, so the quantity of these that are available to produce output with. Number two is the labour force, so the skill of the labour force and the quantity of labour available within a country will determine its output level. And number three, the amount of capital infrastructure, so the physical capital infrastructure such as machinery, computers, Wi-Fi, broadband, etc. like this. Of course, all of these must be combined together, and for this we look at the productivity level of an economy. So this is how the three different factors of production are combined to determine the output per unit of labour, capital and raw materials, etc. Now we move on to the production function itself in its mathematical form. And for this, what we start off with is Y. Y is the output of an economy, so the total goods and services that are produced. That is equal to the productivity factor that we just saw a minute ago is the combining factor, and that's represented as the term B. So that combines capital and labour. F just represents a function of, so output is a function of the next two factors we see, one of which is labour. So labour is the quantity of labour that is in an economy. K is the capital, the quantity of capital, physical capital infrastructure that is in an economy. H is the skill level of the labour. That is called human capital, so the degree of education of a labour force in a country. And the final one, N, is the number of natural resources which can be used up in the production process and therefore gives an indication of sustainability. So of these then, what we can do is look at a reduced form for the Solow growth model. And what we do is we concentrate on the two specific aspects of output being a function of labour and capital. We also have our beta value in there representing productivity, but importantly here we put in weights for labour and capital, and they are 0.5 each, representing a Cobb-Douglas production function. So why do we put them in as 0.5 each? Well, we put them in because this equation here is subject to number one, diminishing returns, which means that as we increase the amount of labour or capital in the production process, output does increase, but at a diminishing rate as indicated here. So diminishing returns to both labour and capital as individual factors. However, taking the production function as a whole, what we tend to find is constant returns to scale given these two weights. So if we add up our 0.5 and 0.5, we get 1, which means when we add to capital and labour, the input of capital and labour increases output by a 1-to-1 relationship. So that is constant returns to scale, input increases and output increases proportionately the same rate. So with these indicators now, what we can do is look at the Solow growth model itself. And within this model, what we have is the reduced form version where output is a function of capital and labour, and these are combined through productivity B. We adjust this slightly and we multiply it by a factor of 1 over x, and that gives us the following. So this gives us y over L, which is the output per worker, is equal to beta, which represents productivity, and this is a function of labour divided by labour now, which reduces to 1, and capital over labour, which is the capital per worker. So in this case now, what we have is a rewritten equation where we have output per worker is equal to productivity, a function of capital over labour. And this is the key aspect of the Solow growth model. I hope you call back to Cultnomics soon. Bye for now.